We are no longer in the era of just prompting AI or having a chat with AI and then AI, giving us a reply. We have entered the agentic era where AI actually does work. AI can be given a goal or a task and it goes about accomplishing that task. So I'm going to be sharing with you on how to use agentic AI to get actual work done. And to do that, we are going to be using ChatGPT Work. So we're going to be looking at how to use projects effectively to get real work done. Project is different from just your chat. A chat is a single conversation where you just have a single conversation with your AI model, and then it gives you a reply. And then next time when you have something again you want to find out, you come again, you have a chat. You go through this cycle over and over again. But the difference between that and a project is like, just imagine for instance, when you were in school, you had different notebooks. You had the notebook for maths, you had the notebook for English, you had the notebook for sciences, and all the other subjects. Okay, so it's just the same way. A project contains related files, related chats and conversations about a particular topic or work that you are trying to get done. That's the difference between chat and project. And the interesting thing about that is that you can always come back to that project folder and continue the conversation from where it was, or add new information, new files, and expand on the conversation about what you're trying to achieve. Okay, so what we want to do today now is we want to look at projects, but not projects from the way we've seen it before, but we want to look at projects from an agentic perspective. You are going to be telling the AI to look at your documents or look at that particular file and get a particular job done. And like I said, we are going to be using ChatGPT Work. I'm going to just dive right in and show you how this is done. All right? Diving right into this, you notice something you notice right here on ChatGPT. Okay, you now have what is chat and work. Okay, now this is a desktop version of ChatGPT. It has the mobile version, it has the web version, and has a desktop version. Work is also available on the mobile version and the desktop version, but the one I'm using is the desktop version. And to do this, of course, you just go to their site and then you download it, and then you get to use it to do work. And here, what we are going to do is we are going to go to work. Okay, so we toggle to work. All right. You seeing this? Okay, so we toggle to work. When you toggle to work, you go to projects. So we go to projects, we add a new project, and then I decide to call this project, let's say drilling project. So I call this a drilling project. So let's say you are in the oil and gas sector now, and this is a report that you are actually supposed to put out after a particular task. And then we are going to add folders. Using the desktop version, you can access the projects on your desktop. Your AI model can now access files and folders directly on your laptop. Now, this is where the agentic AI comes into play. So basically, it's working. You are going to do, all you just need to do is just give it access. The level of access depends on you. Okay, you are the one that will have to determine the level of access you really want to give your AI. But let's just continue. Right now, we just give direct access. We want to add this folder here. Okay, so this drilling report folder. So we have added this folder, and then we're going to create this project. I'm using something that is related to the oil and gas sector. So if you're somebody that is in this kind of job, basically you can see what you can use your AI agent to achieve right now. Okay, so you can see what agentic AI can actually help you do, how fast you can get your job done. So now we're going to come here, and then we're going to start a new conversation. I'm going to give it this prompt. The prompt says, using the files in this folder, break down the daily drilling reports to automatically track safety events, near misses, and non-productive time root causes. Save a one-page report I can share with my team. Give me a draft to review before it's final. You just give it this, and everything it's going to do will be based on the files, based on information on that particular folder that you have given it access to. So you see now that it cannot have access to any other thing except to that which you have given it access to. You now tell it, of course, to give you a draft, before it's final. So you want it to give you a draft so that you look through it yourself and you're sure and you're okay, and you can say, okay, this is good. You are doing that so that you can actually get to check the AI's work, okay, the agent's work. You want to check the work before you can now say, okay, this is okay, then let's finalize it. So once you drop the prompt, you now say send. You are going to see what the AI is doing. It says, I'm using the spreadsheet workflow because this involves extracting and analyzing the report, then producing a shareable one-page summary. Okay, I'll inspect the folder and report structure, then prepare a draft for your review without treating it as final. So basically, it's communicating with you and trying to paraphrase or show you that it understands what you want it to do. And the process that it's going through to achieving it, you'll be seeing it. You'll be seeing the process that it's going through, thinking through, running commands. It's looking at that particular folder and the document that is inside and looking at the instructions that you've given it. Go through a process where it will achieve the goal that you have given it. So this kind of thing you can just give it, and while you're working on something else, or you go grab a cup of coffee, your AI pet is just going to keep an eye on what you are doing. All right, so back to our dream report. Finally, like you can see, it says the final one-page team report. Okay, that's what I asked it to do. So because I said it was okay, it has you can see what happened today, safety, MP, based on the documents here, root cause themes from the supplied report set, recommended actions before final issue. You can see, of course. So that's the report. Now, if we come here, okay, on documents, now this is where we have this drilling report. So you have this temp, TMP, and then you have the output, okay? So the output is where we have our finished work, all right? So basically, it finished the work and it dropped it in that same folder. That's the daily drilling report folder that it had access to, okay? So it finished the work, and this is the output. Click it, you see it opens up. You see, that's the report that it just created. You see the drafts that it did, and then you see the final work. So you also see the Excel that it created. See that it created the Excel page that it created. So this is what Agentic AI is all about. It is AI where AI gets work done. It's about telling it this is what you want it to do. You give it a task, give it a goal, and give it access to whatever data, to whatever files, folder that you have, that you want it to have access to. And just like you would do with an employee that you are supervising, it just goes using all the data, the files, the folder, and all that you have given to it. It just goes ahead to get the job done. And yours just check, and when you say it's okay, everything gets done. So basically, you are working with an employee that gets things done faster and gets it to your goals faster.